despite her very small screen time, you Why, hello there, YouTube, and welcome back to 31. I am Random Ross, and we're on day 18 now, and we continue Universal Week with Bride of Frankenstein. So this is another one, in the Frankenstein franchise, the first sequel from 1935, which carries on from the previous movie, where the monster turns out to not be dead, but buried under the destruction of the windmill. But then Frankenstein gets, brought, comes together with Doctor Pretorius, who's fascinated by his work and shows him his work of science, shrinking people in jars, and then tells Frankenstein this time he wants to create a woman, a bride for his creation. Whilst the monster, Boris Karloff, wanders around being feared, but till he befriends a blind man who actually teaches him to talk a bit, and that's quite a nice moment there. But then they get scared. He scares off. His family scare him off. But then we do see the bride born in the final moments of the movie, and of course we get an opening segment where it's a recreation of the night Mary Shelley. So the sound off on my tablet there. Mary Shelley, um, you know, was coming up with the story on the stormy night. Anyway, yeah, Mary Shelley is also played by Elsa Lanchester, who plays the bride in this film. And yeah, so let's get on to my likes and dislikes. What did I like about this one? Well, I like that this was a sequel. It had more or less everybody back, from Colin Clive to Boris Karloff to James Whale directing again. And we had some newcomers such as Ernest Thesiger or something, playing Doctor Pretorius, who proposes the idea of creating the monster a bride. And yeah, I liked the story. A lot of this is very tame by today's standards. We're probably shocking in 1935, but not so now. But still, those visual effects when they created the illusion of small people in jars, like meant to be representing like historical figures, I really liked those effects at that time, because it was like just showing you don't need the computers like we heavily rely on today to do effects like that. Like I was saying with the Invisible Man, how they made him invisible. Those are good visual effects. I also liked Boris Karloff coming back and how they got him to come back to don all that makeup again. I gotta take my hat off to him. And he actually gets lines this time. He actually learns to talk in this one. I mean, in the book, the monster already starts talking sentences and that in the story, but we're talking about Universal's take. But how the moments where he befriends that blind man, I think are nice, sweet moments. And the blind man is pretty much the only human ever to show the creature some kindness and befriends him. And I think those are sweet moments. And when the monster's learning to smoke, which they probably won't promote today in films, But how he says "bread" and starts to talk. I like that. I like the moments, but sadly, with it being the genre it is, it doesn't get that way exactly. Colin Clive comes back as Henry Frankenstein, and then we get our closing moments of the movie, where we see the bride finally created. Now, the makeup effects on both them, especially Boris Karloff, are top notch. Great makeup effects on Elsa Lanchester, despite her very small screen time. The image of the bride has stays with you so much longer after. Especially the moment where the monster goes, friend, friend, and then she's scared of him, and then he takes Pretorius and tells Frankenstein to go, going, you go, we belong together. Of course, when the creature blows the lab up and takes himself out with the bride and Pretorius, that's not the last one, clearly, because we get another one. Son of Frankenstein, I think it is. And I believe that was the last one where Karloff returned as the monster. Anyways, like I said, the bride has pretty much cemented into pop culture just as much as the creature has, and Dracula and the Wolfman. Just like those classic Universal monsters, despite her very small screen time, and for something like that to just last for so little time, the fact that she's immortalised herself, Elsa Lancaster's brief performance, it's just work well done. I think horror well done. I believe that these Universal films, were adaptations based on the book from Mary Shelley, because there are a lot of different things in the book if you read it. Of course, I'd say one of the closest adaptations were probably Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from 1994, but we're not talking about that one, we're talking about this one, Bride of Frankenstein. So, yes, I thought it was a good sequel, and, like I say, this is when Universal Studios were at an all-time high, the golden age of their horror era. So, ratings, what will I do? I will give this again a 5 stabs out of 5. 5 stabs out of 5 for Bride of Frankenstein. So there you go. There's my review for today. Like I said, you can watch all the 31 so far on the channel and all the different weeks I've done. There are others doing this 31-day challenge, so check them all out. Just type in on the search, 31 days, and everyone's bringing their own spin to it. So, yes, that's it for today. So I'll see you tomorrow for our penultimate day of Universal Week, and it's going to be one of my all-time favourite classics. If you know me, you know what it is. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. So until next time, don't have nightmares.